Welcome back, everybody, to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. Join me, Sean, and my fellow American Rodney as we explore the good, the bad, and the just plain weird.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
Oh, very, very good. That was a nice one. Sean. Thank you. Well, I'll start with I guess I'll start with the beginning and the end. Yes. For everybody tuning in, we're gonna jump around a little bit in this episode, but this is actually gonna be where we wrap up the Two Guys, Three Crowns podcast, which has been a wonderful ride, 166 episodes, plus a couple of little bonus things along the way, over 3.5 years.
Yes.
And it has been a fantastic and fun ride. Those of you, well, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that if you're listening now, then you've probably listened to us before. Hopefully, yes. I'm hoping
several times, I would imagine.
Several times, but those of you, well, people know that the Two Guys, Three Crowns podcast has been from its beginning. Sean and I. Two guys, two American expats in Sweden. A lot of people, when they heard about Sean's move back, including myself, were like, well, what's going to happen to the podcast? Are you guys going to continue with the podcast?
Yes.
And we had talked about doing an episode or two or see where it goes, just to see Sean's experience and transition back to the States. But it feels like we have kind of run the course of our original format and plan.
Yes,
which
we
is
are beyond the
thing.
brief at this point, which is fine, but yeah.
Okay.
We could use a break. I'm sure everyone out there could use a little change up, something different. So yeah, we felt it was just the perfect way to close out the podcast. So we'll, like Rodney mentioned, we're going to jump around a bit, but yeah, revisit some of our old highlights. I've got some updates from over here in Miami.
Ooh.
Let me tell you.
Hey, and I have a daylight update from over here.
Yes, when is sunset nowadays?
Which I'm sure you're missing, Sean. I know you're missing it. I know you. I know that I'm fooling you with my ring light and with all my you got my ring light over there.
Hey, according to Google, sunset is still at 5:13 p.m., which isn't that far away from us. We're like 6:48, 6:45, something like that, but it just feels way darker, way sooner over there.
It's dark. I mean, it is definitely, there are no ifs, ands, or buts. We're getting to the point now, this wonderful time of the year where the leaves are falling. You don't know if the trains are going to be running on time, which they haven't been. Had a couple of power outages lately.
Outages?
Yeah. New stuff. Keeping me on my
like
toes.
The leaves falling on the power lines. They don't have power lines in Sweden. Everything's
it's like,
underground,
I think
right?
It's a brown leaf and a yellow leaf touched, and
oh boy,
threw the whole thing off. But yeah, it's just, you know how it is, Sean. I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
Yep, I know, and I made it out before November because that's the most brutal part for me. And you guys change your clocks this coming weekend, so that's when it really, you really start feeling it.
Well, I remember when you brought up the move the very first time when you said, "Hey, we're moving back," and I asked you, I was like, "Well, I mean, how soon are you guys leaving?" And you were like, we are not going to be spending another winter in Sweden.
Yes. Yes.
That was the goal.
That is the idea, exactly.
But what's the temps like over there? I mean, I see that you.
It is, well, let me ask Google. Miami weather, Google. I think it's about like high of mid 80s. This says high of 82 today. So
you poor
pretty nice, pretty nice. I mean, this week is supposed to be like that kind of perfect weather week. It's got some clouds, but it's not bad. And it's not supposed to really rain, but it's just supposed to be like 80, 82, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then it'll go back to being like 88 and 100% humidity. And we'll all complain about it. Yes.
We have started scraping the windshield.
Oh no!
We had the first frost the other morning, and we also have the little portable plug-in heater now up in the car. To those wonderful, wonderful, wonderful things that to look forward to with Swedish winter. I mean, it's awesome. Now we got our winter tires on.
Oh God, it's windshield season.
Exactly. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Yeah. Hey man, over here, it must be from all the flooding, but I've been having to drive more and more, right? You're back in the States.
Right.
Everything's about driving a car anywhere you need to go. But the roads, man. And I've got like, on this car, it's got like the low profile tires, like the performance low profile tires. So you feel with like a sport tune suspension low to the ground, you feel everything. And I'm used to watching for like the potholes and stuff like that, but like you get to some parts on these roads here now, and it's just like no matter what lane you do, how you try and swerve, you're gonna hit a pothole. So it's like I have to pick the least bad option.
Okay,
it's crazy.
Okay, so kind of Grand Theft Auto, drive up on the sidewalk, trying to get around.
Yes, exactly. I mean, just to like, there's stuff that's like, I don't know, it's like concave, like a giant elephant has pushed the road down in some spots and then it's higher in others. So it's like, I don't want to be bottoming out my car. This is craziness, man.
Right.
And then to go like some of the roads around here, they've obviously done something. I guess it's the plumbing, maybe the city water lines.
Okay.
So they cut open the road.
Right.
They do stuff. And then the style now is, well, we'll just put a big metal plate on top of it and put some fresh asphalt around the edges.
Right.
I'm like,
so
that's, and then they just leave it like that. I'm like, what is this? You've already closed down half the traffic lanes. You might as well just pave it back over and do it properly. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is up with this craziness? And every single day, every time I get in the car, I witness at least one person do something highly illegal.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like I'm going to my new favorite store, IKEA, to return some stuff.
Ooh.
And where you get the off ramp from the highway to get back to the surface street, it becomes like it all kind of turns to go one direction of the traffic. Like you're getting off this exit to go north on this one street. Right. And when it comes up to a light, like to make that merge happen, it's 2 lanes. Now in Florida, you can turn right on red unless it says you cannot turn right on red at this specific light. Right. But in that kind of situation, it says with signs everywhere, only the right lane may turn right on red. Mm-hmm. And then I pull up and I knew it. I'm in the left lane and I could see it staring at the trunk of this car. I'm like, they're going to go. Sure enough, on red, boom, just pulls out into traffic. I'm like, my God, people. Mm-hmm. And picking up Dylan the other day from school, I made the mistake of going on like the surface streets instead of like the highway to get back. And then we got a bridge. The drawbridge went up, and then that just throws everything haywire. And then people go crazy. And like our lane wasn't turning. The light was staying red because it's a whole system that's connected. It knows that the drawbridge is resetting itself. So all this traffic won't move for like the next 10 minutes. The next thing I know, the straight traffic gets a green line. Our turn lane is still red arrows, and people just start going, honking at me. Let's go. We're all going. I'm like, what is happening? Oh my God. Crazy, man. I'm like, is this what we do now here? What?
This is. I guess if you get enough people, then you know?
I know, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if everyone just decides, like instant
Just
democracy, right? Okay, we're not paying attention
Sure.
to this stoplight anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Yeah, man, it's wild.
Now, you haven't been back long enough to. I'm not saying that you're going to be getting any moving violations or have anything to do with getting pulled over or speeding or illegal stuff, but it's going to be interesting to see if it's still like paper tickets. Now, there's probably a whole lot of listeners. In fact, I don't even know if Sweden has like if they give you like a paper ticket.
I mean, if you
Like
get
your-
pulled over by a cop, they will give you a paper ticket, but everything
Right.
else has been digitized. So there's no
Okay.
more, there's like a toll booth still on this one
Right.
causeway because I think it's historic and they just keep it there. But everything else, like the HOV lanes and all that stuff, the express lanes, everything's toll
Yeah.
by plate, or you have what's called Sun Pass, the little chip that you put in your window,
right.
and then you just top it up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay. Because that's one of those things with like the highway patrol and like all the police things is when they tear that thing out of the book, right? It's just like sign here, and then it's like, whoosh. But now I have been fortunate enough not to know whether Sweden has gone fully digital with their. Now I don't drive very often. I mean, I'm more of a train guy. But yeah, I really haven't gotten any type of citation.
which
There
is
we
a
go.
good thing.
That's the word I'm looking for, the citation. But I wouldn't be surprised. It's all digital.
Yeah,
It's like
I could see that.
You guys,
I could totally see
you guys
that.
can write me up. We'll just swish you. We'll swish
Yeah,
you.
can I write a check to pay off this amount or what?
Hey, what's swish over there?
Zelle.
Zelle.
It used to be
Okay.
Cash App, but now everyone uses Zelle. Zelle, which I still have to
Okay.
download. I keep getting texts from Geico like every 6 hours saying, "Hey, have you downloaded the Geico app yet?" And I'm like, "It won't let me download."
Yeah.
And I've just this past weekend, like Friday, I think I've been able to change over my app store to an American debit card. So in theory, I should be able to download all this stuff. But it's like, no, unable to process requests. Come back later. I'm like,
Yeah, we'll contact and remind you again later. I don't think we've talked since I did this. I was sitting. We went to the grocery store. I was sitting and waiting. Lena had to do an extra errand, so I sat down on a bench and I'm scrolling through a little bit of social media stuff. And there's a Coca-Cola contest.
okay.
And I've never done like contest. It was like win a little Coca-Cola refrigerator or some,
okay.
whatever it was.
Swaggy thing.
So but I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean, I'm killing time. I'm just, sure, what the heck. So I start filling out the information. And I get to the following screen, and that's where they hit me with all of the, release stuff. It's like, okay, we'd like you to do this. We'd like to send you, would you mind answering these questions? And would you mind? So I back out of there. I mean, like hot, speedy, quick. I was just out. I'm like, okay, that's enough. Lana came, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So the following morning, all of a sudden, I start getting like SMS ads, like text ads.
God.
I got like 4 ads in the morning out of the blue. I got 3 or 4 phone calls from salespeople from different insurance agencies and insurance companies. And then I started getting email stuff. And the only thing that I had done differently, and I actually used my my Two Guys, Three Crowns podcast email because I'm like, So it was really obvious that it was because of this contest that, that opened it up.
And you didn't even go through with everything.
I didn't even do like the entire thing,
Once they get
But,
that data, they're like, you opted in, GDPR. We're allowed to text you all we want.
Yeah. And what I am going to do though is I'm just for the heck of it, I am going to record the next time the salespeople call because I got them pretty good. I did get them pretty good. It took me a minute, or it took me till the second phone call to where I switched over from answering in Swedish to answering in English. And the guy was so caught off guard. He had his insurance pitch ready.
Yes.
And, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. He's like, oh, very sorry. Do you speak Swedish? And I was like, no, I don't. But tell me more about the insurance offers that you have. I would love to buy something. He was like, oh, no, I am sorry. I'm not allowed to.
He's not allowed to.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the people
okay.
that are always doing surveys out on the street for some UN fund or something else.
Sure.
And they always come running up to me, and I'm like, nope, I speak English. You're not allowed to talk to me. They're like,
I didn't
okay,
realize
bye.
that. Oh, so that's a thing.
Yeah, it has to be conducted in Swedish. So I'm always like, no, guys, I don't speak Swedish. You can't ask me your questions. They're like, oh, okay, that's right.
It's like, oh, darn it, you called me on a Monday. Monday is my English day. Had you guys waited till tomorrow, then we could have done this and I would have become a customer and it would have been great.
Oh, that's so good. So good. I wish I could use that here.
Yeah. Well, I'm just getting started now because first I was like, oh, I don't want to have these calls. And then the more I started thinking about it, I was like, hey, I could have some fun with these sales calls that are coming. So,
yes. But I thought it would be good as we're right around the halfway mark in the episode to reflect a little bit on some of our favorite moments from the past, 166 episodes.
Yes.
I mean, a favorite for me is always going to be Lady in Red at the Ica.
Oh, the shopping.
Yes,
the
that's
shopping
always
woman.
going to be high up on the list. And I wish I had a photographic memory of our back catalog to tell the listeners what episode that's in. But just go ahead and listen to all of them until you find it, and then let me know. It was this woman wearing a Serena Williams inspired catsuit dress that was the reddest red you've ever seen. And she was live streaming her grocery shopping, picking up all of her products and reviewing them to her phone. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And I'm sure she was getting paid to do it somehow, but it was just like, what has our society come to?
Yeah. With the live, and we don't know if people were voting. People might have been voting, like what products she
emojis flying up on the screen.
She should be shopping for.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was the Lady in Red. As I was getting ready for this episode, I double check all my equipment, as usual, my multitude of equipment.
Yep.
And I, of course, now always double check to make sure that my microphone is fastened correctly. And the reason
my thingy fell off.
That was also one of our classic episodes was when I touched my thing too much and it just fell off, the microphone and then the stand, and then it was.
Well, that's I think it's happened. I don't know how many times we've caught it recording. I think it was only once captured on the podcast, but I have forgotten my power cable and ran out of battery so many times. I was famous. That was my move. And then I would have to jump out of the closet, falling through the apartment, trying to grab it because the MacBook's going, you're at 4%. I'm going to shut down at any second.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it was that happened not that long ago. It was like an episode in the late 50s. I mean, we're at 166, right? That was, because I remember as you went to go take care of getting power stuff, taken care of, sitting there reminding people that, okay, it's not like it's episode 5 and we're working out the bugs. Or it's the first time that Sean has ever used his laptop. Yeah,
to the point that before later episodes, Rodney would always text me and be like, okay, is your battery charged? You good to go? Like, oh, man, I forgot. Let's go. Hurry. Man.
Yes, have you charged?
Oh, my God. And I mean, I think for me, every guest is amazing, and picking a standout is kind of like picking your favorite child. But I thought the high watermark was probably getting I would call him a celebrity, Al Pitcher. Yeah, that was our big white whale moment of wow, a real professional comedian.
Right.
That was great.
And if people haven't listened or don't know the story behind that, we had actually reached out to Al Pitcher pre-COVID. Yeah, but pre-COVID, called up and sent emails and they said, well, you need to talk to his agent and you need to do this and you need to do that. And it was like, oh, okay, well, we gave it a shot. And then after we were into COVID and everybody was at home,
he couldn't escape us. He had nothing to do, so he had to respond to us.
But I decided, I'm like, oh, just shoot him an email and find out what happens. And he answered. So it wasn't like a long thing. He was like, hey, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Yeah, and that was
It only took a global pandemic to get a celebrity on the show.
To get right.
Take it any day of the week.
The fun thing too with Al, calling him Al, I don't know if I should call him Mr. Pitcher. He is touring like a madman right now. He is once he hit the ground running and things opened up, he is all over the place doing shows. But I did a follow-up with Al, a short one, before he started his tour. We also let him know that there was an upcoming event that Sean and I were going to be at. And Al had said that he was going to try and stop by on his way to a gig. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do it. But that was really, that was a real special moment that it felt really good that he went ahead and responded. And
yeah, super nice. Great to have him.
So
and another great thing about having the guests on is every once in a while, people would send us free stuff.
Yes.
Florence sent us books. I have a beautiful cookbook from Patrick Risotto. I've got some great t-shirts from South Plains Brewing.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
I once had an advanced copy of a book. Once.
Yes.
I thought that's when I'm like, man, we got Al Pitcher. I'm getting advanced books before like they've been released to review. I'm like, we are big time now. And then I lost it on vacation.
And I'm pretty sure, wasn't that the Volvo Vuv?
Yeah, the one that the local did.
Right.
I was like, oh man, this is going like, I don't care if I never read it. This has got to be framed. Like this is big time stuff. And then nope.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in Portugal.
Hey, we never tested we never really took our stardom out for a decent swing like in Stockholm, and like tried to drop that someplace and be like,
roll up to Hard Rock Cafe. Do you know who I am?
Right.
Wait, close your eyes. Do you know who I am?
Yeah, no, I don't think it. No. Someday. And we did have a listener solid streamed. I remember getting that email where he was like, I love your show and I just listened to all the episodes. And
why would you do that?
Yeah. But he enjoyed it so much. And that was, I can't remember how many episodes we were at. I think we were like 80 something.
It was a lot.
So
it was significant.
It was like 40 hours of material.
Yeah, man. And then, so to give everyone a little bit like another behind the scenes view, Rodney has all sorts of gizmos and gadgets working with the podcast, and he had tracking software. What is it? Chartable. And it would tell us if we're rising and falling and how we do in the global economy of podcasts. And it would, you never really know how to read those things. And then it would be like, you're number one for lifestyle and finance in Singapore. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Hey, but for me, I was like, yes, we are on a chart.
Number one, here we go.
It was like travel podcast, Nigerian top 60. And it's like, yes.
That's like every Instagram post from the show. Be like, love it. DM me to like monetize your audience. Be like, you did that the last 50 times too.
Exactly. Or the time that I got really, really stoked when I asked you, I was like, hey, we could buy like 10,000 followers. It was like the day after we opened up the Instagram account. Sean was like, you know what? I would suggest we just skip that and go grassroots.
Yeah.
So
all sorts of Russian women trying to reach out. Oh, I see you have professional podcasts. Would like to make acquaintance. Like,
Yes.
Okay. No, thank you.
You know Bitcoin? Yeah, no,
Yes. Have you buy dip? Have you thought about your crypto portfolio? No.
Yeah, yeah. We did also over the years pass out our own little stuff.
That's right.
We had the logoed baseball caps that from the beginning. The intent was to go ahead and give those to our guests or people that we ran across, or
Yeah. So every time Rodney said, "Okay, thanks for joining us on the pod, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop something in the mail for you," that was the hat.
Yeah. Hey, I still have a couple hats here on the side. Still waiting for that call from Spotify or Apple Podcasts when they go ahead and give the ring on. Make sure to bring those along.
Now, Rodney talking about the caps and our swag as he's sitting in front of a 2 Guys 3 Crown pop-up banner flag wearing a 2 Guys 3 Crowns black hoodie with, I'm not sure what's on the cap, but I know that there's a coffee mug somewhere nearby and a mouse pad and...
Yeah, I got them. They're all over. They're all over the place here. And this is actually, now we even have like a throwback logo.
Oh.
Because we went like with a different logo. So we have like the original.
Yeah.
The
how
original
OG
logo.
can you be?
Hey, that's how long we've had the show.
Multiple logos, baby.
Multiple logos.
Multiple
branding.
logos, multiple intro songs.
Exactly. And then we went YouTube. And then all of a sudden, we had a YouTube channel and we were putting up stuff. And I think that the two people that were watching those.
Yes. Commenting on all the time. And guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
Yeah. And to this date, till now, the highest performing of those being when we had John Strand.
Yes.
When we had Allt för Sverige.
That's right.
I think that thing is... Well, it was definitely breaking our records. I thought something was busted. I was like,
what are all these people doing watching our stuff?
I was like waiting for an invoice. I'm like, oh man, I know somebody's going to bill me for this stuff.
Yeah, what did I do wrong this time? Oh, God.
Oh, no, what have I done? I clicked something.
Yes, but an amazing journey it has been. A journey from an old kitchen table to intercontinental video streaming.
Yes. We did the gamut. I mean, we definitely did a lot. I know that my mom has enjoyed it.
Likewise. I mean, I've enjoyed it as well. Like we were saying, it was kind of like therapy for us to have some kind of human interaction, especially during the pandemic. So that has been an amazing ride.
Yeah, I mean, and the big bonus being, of course, and people that have followed the podcast is, again, Sean and I were strangers, that met at a mingle and basically spent your entire Swedish adventure posting episodes. And I mean, it's like,
What'd you do in Sweden? I posted some episodes.
Exactly. And everything is going to remain up and live if I haven't clicked any of the wrong things. So feel free to go back. I go back occasionally and listen to a couple of throwback episodes, and the YouTube channel is up there. If you've only listened to the audio, then go in and take a look at a video.
Yes, we have heads. I don't know about feet, but we definitely have heads.
Yes, most of the time. But thank you, Sean, and thank you to everybody out there that has supported us, that has listened, that have gone in and liked posts and sent little messages. It was the fuel that kept us going, and who knows what
the future may
hold. What the future exactly.
What's next for the 2 Guys 3 Crowns?
Yeah, I like it.
is right, everybody. Everything good must come to an end at some point. It is a bit melancholy to say, but it has been a great time speaking to everyone, having all the guests on the show, and just teaching you guys a bit about the crazy things that go on in Sweden. So we will miss all of our followers, but as Rodney said, we're going to keep the episodes up on all of our hosting software, so you can still access them through Apple Podcasts or wherever you find your podcasts. And we'll leave the Instagram stories up so you guys can take a look at all that great content. And who knows, there may be a new future someday for these two guys, 3 crowns.